Chael Sonnen, who is a very well known in the mixed martial arts sport since the beginning of UFC. Chael Sonnen, who is the former UFC fighter, currently now a sports analyst and also working for ESPN. Chael Sonnen came out the other day and said, the date has been fixed. The date has been fixed for the undisputed UFC heavyweight title between Jon Jones and Aspinall. Remember, guys, this fight, we have been talking about this for a long time. This is not just now. This has been going on for 1 year now. I don't know when last the Jon Jones fight, his last fight against Stipe Miocic, I think it's almost a year. And we have been talking about these fights happening for a long time. People comes out with their own information, the other people come out with their own information. But recently, Chael Sonnen came out on ESPN, which is a very well-known sport industry, and gave out a very interesting news. Chael Sonnen came out and said there is a date fixed that is going to happen in the International Fight Week between Jon Jones and Aspinall. The question is this, guys. Are we supposed to believe this? Are we supposed to start believing that this is going to happen? Because remember, they said it's going to happen since last year, it didn't happen. They said it's going to happen 6 months ago, it didn't happen. Now we are getting up to a year. Last we saw Aspinall fight, and that thing is eating him up. So for this news to come out now, make we the UFC fans think, when is the decision going to happen? When are they going to take this decision? And let us know what is happening in this UFC heavyweight title. I mean, Aspinall also wants to know, because this guy has been around for almost a year without fighting, looking for answers. And guys, this is the first time I'm going to say this. Hearing reports, hearing news, and hearing interviews, and also hearing from Dana White. The issue is not from Aspinall. The problem also is not from the UFC. The main focus is on Jon Jones and his team. Jon Jones talking about 30 million, or some people saying 50 million. I don't know which one to believe. But to be honest with you guys, I really don't know who to blame in this. But I'm just hoping that what Chael Sonnen came out to say the other day is true. I want to believe that, because I've never heard Chael Sonnen say something very strong as this. Because this is a fight that many UFC fans, MMA fans in the world wants to watch. And if you look at the UFC heavyweight division, it's been boring. If you look at that division, apart from Aspinall to Jon Jones, the rest, nobody would like to watch that division. Although, whenever UFC fighters, the heavyweight fighters fight, there is always a possibility that there will be a knockout or a submission or a finish somewhere. That's why my personal self, I love watching the UFC heavyweight fighters, because I know that in 1 second somebody is going to sleep. But if you look at the names, they don't make you want to watch UFC heavyweight. Like, no one will stand up now and wake up in the night and say, okay, I want to watch the UFC heavyweight fighters, apart from Aspinall and Jon Jones, knowing fully well that if Aspinall be able to finish Jon Jones or beat Jon Jones, Aspinall is going to be the #1 superstar. And it's very good for UFC, because when you notice Aspinall, he is somebody that always want to fight. He is somebody that always want to be there. He wants his legacy. He's not getting younger. He knows that if he keeps waiting, he's going to lose hope. He's been begging for UFC that he doesn't care. He wants to fight for the heavyweight title. He doesn't care who the champion is. But the current champion, who happens to be Jon Jones, he's been messing around with him. He's been messing around with the UFC. He wants this amount of money. He wants that. He wants that. Aspinall is an asshole. This, that. We are tired as UFC fans. And I'm very sure Aspinall and his team are very tired. Honestly, I have never seen someone as patient as Thomas Aspinall. We could say Michael Chandler. We could say Michael Chandler against Conor McGregor. Everybody wanted to see that fight because we wanted to see Conor McGregor return. But up to today, it didn't happen. So this is the fear we UFC fans have between this Thomas Aspinall and Jon Jones, most especially those Thomas Aspinall fans. I mean, if you look at it, if I was Thomas Aspinall, they have to give me a date, or else I either leave UFC or fight for the belt. Because we cannot be here waiting for somebody to decide the fate of the UFC. Yes, Jon Jones is an historical fighter. Yes, Jon Jones is the greatest of all time. Nobody doubted that. Yes, Jon Jones doesn't have to face Thomas Aspinall to become the greatest. We all know that Jon Jones doesn't need Thomas Aspinall. But if Jon Jones fights someone else other than Thomas Aspinall, that is a shame to his legacy. Because if there is one fight left for Jon Jones, if Jon Jones will ever fight again, it has to be Thomas Aspinall. And that is going to live with that for a long, long time. Honestly, listening to Chael Sonnen the other day, it sounds so serious. And you're not talking about Chael Sonnen talking about something that he thinks or he meditates or he just woke up and just wanted it to happen just like each and every one of us. Chael Sonnen works for the UFC. Chael Sonnen is close to Dana White, and Chael Sonnen is as close to the UFC directors than anyone. So that news that Chael Sonnen brought out about it being done, I would say 70% I believe. I want to believe because we all want to watch this fight. We all want to watch this undisputed heavyweight champion. We want to see the baddest man on the planet. Although for me, the baddest man on the planet is not between Jon Jones and Thomas Aspinall. For me, the baddest man on planet Earth is Francis Ngannou. That is the story for another day. But we're talking about the UFC undisputed unified heavyweight title, who is on hold at the moment, putting the division on hold. There are a lot of good fighters in that UFC heavyweight that are just waiting for this decision. Nobody wants to be fighting every time just for fighting's sake. Everybody wants to become a champion. And for you to become a champion, you have to beat the champion. And if the champion doesn't want to fight, what do we do with the belt? We've been 1 year waiting for this fight. And the UFC knows that if there is the next title fight that has to happen, it has to be Thomas Aspinall and Jon Jones, because they know fully well that two things are going to happen. One, they are going to sell a lot. They are going to sell a lot. And secondly, 90 or 95% know that Thomas Aspinall is going to win that fight, which make Thomas Aspinall become the #1 superstar in the UFC game. Knowing fully well that Thomas Aspinall always turns up whenever they need him. So the big question is this, guys. When will UFC take that decision? Because for me, the decision is now. It's time for a decision. We don't have to wait anymore. We've been waiting for a long time. We want to see this fight happen. I don't know what Jon Jones is. Honestly, he's the best in the world, he's the best in the history, but this one, Jon Jones is losing it. And if I was Thomas Aspinall, I would give this a certain date. If this passes this date, I will take a decision. Either for my own good, that is going to be good for me and the UFC, or for that is going to be good for me without the UFC, which is meaning leaving the UFC. Because I cannot be in a division where I'm beating everybody, waiting for the champion, and the champion is running away from me. It's impossible. Guys, let me know what you think. Like I said, what's the question? When are they going to take the decision? Let me know what you think about this video. Let me know what you think about UFC, Jon Jones, and Thomas Aspinall saga. And guys, I honestly appreciate the love you guys have been showing me in this channel. Like, comment, subscribe. Remember, the more this channel being liked, the more you subscribe, the more this channel goes higher. I appreciate it. And guys, like, comment, and subscribe once again. See you in the next video.